Hi, this is Wayne Belisle, and today we're going to talk about the secret to massive profits. And basically, that is when you fuse good ideas with action. All right, we're going to talk about that a little bit more in detail. Let's look. Before we get started, print out our action first worksheet. Um, you'll know what that looks like. Let me ring it over here. If you go to the end of the magazine and click on the very last page of every magazine, is tap here for a link of our innovative small business worksheets and homework. This is the worksheet. All right. And really, go over it real fast, but we'll go over it again later. But I mean, really, it's pretty simple. I mean, every business is pretty simple. You got to make the money. All right. You got to make the money. You get to keep the money. Hard, huh? Reduce your income taxes and improve your operating system. So we're going to talk about this a little bit more later. But right now, let's get on there. So first, like I said, find it, and then we'll go from there. All right. Statistically, look, we all understand owning a business is risky, especially when very few businesses survive 10 years and even fewer actually achieve massive profits. And yeah, we know what massive profits is. It's what you dreamed of when you first started your business and what you probably aren't at now, okay? But even if you are, you can still improve dramatically. So let's talk about that. What do successful businesses do differently from those that are just surviving? Like I said, you're going to reach a situation, I've seen it all the time, where I can see a guy open a business, two people open a business. Both of them have fantastic dreams of where they're going to go. And if we go fast forward into the future, 15, 20, 30 years, we're going to see one of them basically has just created themselves a high stress job. Maybe paying a little bit better than a job, but not much better. Matter of fact, probably doesn't have the benefits, probably working harder. They basically have a job. The other person basically has created themselves a business of value, probably already sold it for multi-million dollars. Seen it a lot of times where they basically created a system of printing money that somebody else wanted to buy. They understood something. Successful businesses understand that it takes good ideas and action in order to achieve massive profits. They start by having a good idea on how to answer the unique selling position question. You'll hear that, the USP question, which is for every business. Out of all the choices available to your customers include doing nothing. Why should they buy from you? I like the way this was set up. I think Dan Kennedy or Glazer, I forget which one of those in the GKIC group, uh, wrote it this way. But I like the way this is put in, is worded. If you're not a member of GKIC, you probably ought to go be one. I'm not. I don't get a commission. And just they're quite good at what they do. All right. Dan Kennedy teaches to see. Another thing he teaches is to see what other people in the industry are doing and do the opposite. It kind of. Well, you know what? Let's go back a second. That's really more important. I don't want to gloss over that. If you think about that, 95% to 98% of businesses are not massively profitable. They've either failed, barely hanging on, or have created that job I talked about earlier. So Dan Kennedy asked a good question. Why should we copy the ones that are just barely hanging on? That's an excellent question, actually. I mean, it's like, you don't know. So what he says is, if you're going to emulate, which, like I said earlier, is a fancy word for copy. I think I said that in another tape. If you're going to emulate somebody, emulate the really successful people. See what they're doing. All right. As a business owner, remember your main concern is to increase sales to current customers and to get new prospects. Second thing you need to do is control cost. All right. Now, that's what our worksheet's doing if you're looking at our worksheet. All right. When reviewing costs and deciding which ones to control, you should concentrate on cost of goods sold and employee costs. These are almost always your top two expenses. Look at the old 80-20 rule. You're going to get more there. I got an example of a company I worked with recently. Cost of goods sold and their employee cost is like 78% of their total cost. It's a $4 or $5 million business in sales. Okay. And, I can take the next four items and they add up to the next, 10%. So, I mean, they literally got six line items on their income statement that represent 90% of their cost. Where should they spend their time? On the telephone bill, that's, 0.1%, or on cost of goods sold, which is 51%. They made a small increase in cost of goods sold I mean, small decrease in cost of goods sold by better buying habits, by taking advantage of, better inventorying, keeping control of their inventory, all the different things you need to do to control it. It's not easy. That's why it's not done that often. Better stocking, better buying, finding new suppliers, negotiating better with suppliers. Had a 200 to $300,000, I think it was like a $270,000 increase in gross profit, which translated, since they really, all your other costs are the same, it translated to 250, 270,000 on their bottom line. In a time in the industry they're subject to the whims of Medicare and Medicaid. Most of their competitors are struggling or even going out of business. They were able to offset the squeeze that their income took from these programs and pretty much stay where they were at, which they would not have been able to do without some concentration. The third thing business owners must concentrate on to improve profits is to improve their business systems. Your systems run your business. All right, and we have a magazine issue in the past. I can't remember which one it is. I want to say October of 12, maybe December of 12. If you look back, I think if you get our March 2013 issue, which has our best of, I'm pretty sure it's in there. And I think I may have made that free. If not, all of these are going to be free shortly, anyways. Third thing, business owners, like I said, systems. Systems are so important. I mean, it's how you make sure that you deliver the quality experience that you're every time on a consistent basis to your customers. And it also tells your employees how you expect things done. So, very first thing you do is start by getting good profit building ideas. All right, not just ideas, but profit building ideas. Every idea isn't always a good idea, but you'll never get a good idea if you never brainstorm. So that's the key. Sit down, think about everything, write everything down, look at your ideas. How do you get these good ideas? Well, you just, if all you do is work and you stay in your little silo and you never look outside your window, you're never going to see anything new. It's going to be just who you talk to and where you're at. So I try read at least one business book per month, subscribe to general business magazines and industry specific magazines. And I don't mean paper magazines. This can be blogs, this can be anything online. I most 90% of what I'm doing now is online. Check out our blog. Look for business ideas, read them. All right, hire a coach. A lot of times a coach will kick you out of your rut. All right, good ideas are nothing if not married with action. All right, you need to apply them. I know a lot of people that are tons of ideas. They never get anything done, but they have tons of ideas. I'm not the smartest person in the world by any stretch of the imagination, or even in my industry, but I'm known for getting a lot of stuff done, and not all of it works. That's if you don't want to fail, don't do anything. I mean, I'm always telling my employees the only people that don't make mistakes aren't working. So don't be afraid of that. You only need one to work. All right. Plan on getting something done to improve your business every month. Don't just say someday. Sit down at the beginning of the month and plan on getting something done. Never assume that you and your staff are on the same page. You want to make sure that this planning process goes together. Right? Make sure to communicate your plan on getting your good idea into action to everybody, to your spouse, to your employees, to your vendors, everybody. The more you tell people, the more you're committed, the more you got to get it done. When planning on getting your ideas into action, remember to start with your 5-year goals. Start with your goals. I mean, where is it you want to go? What are you trying to do? Where do you want to be in 5 years? To get to that 5-year goal, what needs to be done in the next year? What needs to be to get to the 1-year goal, which is based on your 5-year goal? What needs to get done in the next 3 months? To get to your 3-month goal, what needs to be done this month? And to get to this month's goal, what needs to be done this week? You literally want to break it into small pieces. All right. Here are some other things to keep in mind when putting your good ideas into action. All right. Make a list of weak points in your business that are keeping you from reaching your goals. Use our worksheet to prioritize what needs to be improved in order to reach your goals. Look, let's take a second look at that real fast, okay? Now this is a worksheet we put together. Basically, pretty simple. We put the month up here. All right, what month are we in? And then I start with making the money. I mean, let's be honest. I'm a CPA. Didn't really know a hell of a lot about marketing. Now we're actually teaching it, so that tells you how far I've come. But really, the reason is very simple. A business without customers is called a hobby, and to build it, I had the Field of Dreams method of marketing, which basically was build it and they will come. The problem is what happens if they don't come, which they didn't. Then you need to go sell. All right. And I hate selling, so I don't sell. I mean, I don't feel like I do. I do a lot of marketing and I've learned how to sell. So the first place I start with in making the money, which is selling, is increasing sales from current customers. And we talked about this many times. Go look at some of our past articles and you'll see this is the easiest sale to make. They already know you, like you, trust you. All right. Then we're increasing sales to new customers. So I'm going to write down 4 or 5 ideas on how I can increase sales to customers. I'm going to write down 4 or 5 ideas how I'm going to increase sales to new customers. And then I'm really going to spend some time talking about improving sales and marketing systems. Because one of the things is once I put something in place, I want to put it on autopilot. Otherwise, as I keep adding things, it eats up more of my time and I don't have time to do any improvement every month. All right. So we want to figure out a way to outsource them, delegate it, whatever. The next place is to control costs. Notice I said product costs because if you're selling a product, this is number one. Employee costs. If you're a service business, this is number one. So you want to look at ways to improve your efficiencies, cut your costs, control them. If you don't, dig your roll. And then finally, I'll look at the other stuff because I don't want to throw dollars away on the telephone, even though they're not. It's not that important around copy paper or paper clips or whatever the heck else falls in that other category. All right. Always look at reducing your income taxes. I mean, and really I could say any taxes, but most people think of income taxes. And we cover that a lot in at least once a year in October issue. Go pick that one up if you haven't. And finally, improving systems. We talked about already why this is important. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down my ideas of what I think I should do, and then I'm going to highlight the number one thing I need to do out of everything I listed, the number one thing that if I did it would have the biggest impact on my business. And that's what I'm going to do first. And, I'm going to give myself, 3 to 4 hours a week to work on improving my business or putting out a new product or whatever the case may be. That's what I'm going to work on first. All right. Let's get this out of the way right now. Didn't mean to close that down. And that's what we talked about right there. Whoops. Take small, consistent improvements each month. Don't aim to kill the moon. Work for a 2% increase. That's not that hard. Read our article on that. Like I said, we talked about that. Now, the second part, though, delegate or outsource what you can. Remember, the most valuable commodity in any business is the owner's time. It's the only thing you can't create more of, but you can buy some by delegating it or outsourcing it to other people. Schedule time to accomplish what is on your list. Work out of the office if you have to. Repeat monthly. All right. Remember that the secret to massive profits is good ideas with action. There is no substitute for action, but acting on bad ideas just gets you to nothing. Gets you bad results. Having good ideas with no action is just called a dreamer. Okay. Imagine if you only made one improvement per month for the next 12 months. How far ahead of your competitors would you be? What about in 2 years? Huh? How far would your business be in 2 years? Like I said, how much better would you be than your competition if you committed to constant monthly improvements? Consider what would happen though if if one of your competitors commits to constant monthly improvements. That's kind of a scary thought. So either you do it or one of your competitors will watch this video and they decide to do it. Look, be sure to check out our free webinars that will be available at the end of the month that cover this in a little bit more detail. What we're after, as much as anything, is creating we're in the process of launching a product that will help you do this monthly worksheet, plus give you the good ideas and kind of a kick in the butt, kind of a cheap business coach without having me in your face entirely. So until next time, this is Wayne Belial, and let's have a great day.